Joanne, I was going to ask you about, we're going to talk about John Hughes, the career. We'll talk about the movie a little bit if that's right. Okay.
Okay.
Yeah.
And 3, 2, 1.
Okay. John, you used to write jokes for Rodney Dangerfield. Can you tell me how that came about and what you thought of that whole experience?
Well, I wasn't an official writer. I used to just I'd write gags at work, sneak in a joke here and there, and I would just mail them to comedians, and hopefully someone would buy them. And Dangerfield bought some, and a few other people, and it sort of got me started. You know, it was a big thrill. Rodney Dangerfield calling the house, and my mother saying, "Some guy named Dangerfield on the phone." Hello.
Do you remember any of those jokes?
Yeah, I do, but I can't tell them. I'm a terrible joke teller.
Okay.
They weren't very good. I think he was buying them so that they would be the. 2 times I was his opening joke in his Tonight Show model, or his appearance on the Tonight Show, and I got this feeling that he was buying my jokes because they would bomb, and then he wouldn't have his pride hurt, you know. But I wrote the jokes that didn't get laughs.
Okay. Now let's go to another film, Mr. Mom, screenplay you wrote, a big hit. But you were quoted as saying that you felt that you were raped by that project. What did you mean?
That was probably too strong a word. No, I wrote the script. It was based on me leaving advertising and staying home with the kids, and thinking that because it would be easy to take care of kids because I would just apply my normal rational male logic to what has traditionally been a female occupation. And I realized that it was an incredibly difficult thing, and everything went wrong. And I based it on that, and I wrote the script, and I sold the script, and then I got fired. And I thought it was kind of strange. How can I get fired? Because I created it. I went into it thinking that the most important element in this business will be the writer, because I had come out of magazines where writers are, that's the key thing, And I discovered, sort of in a harsh and quick way, that it's not the writer. This isn't a writer's medium.
Were you happy with the way the film turned out, despite of that?
I was real happy. Michael Keaton and Terry Garr, I thought was really good. I mean, there were things that me, the novice, would have done differently, but yeah, it worked.
Skipping forward to Home Alone, how surprised, honestly, were you by the success of that film? And how much pressure did it put on you to come up with something comparable afterwards?
I knew that. I thought it was a pretty good idea. The intent being, I'm gonna try to do a picture that a father can take his child to, and enjoy as much as the kid. I tried to blend 2 audiences, and so I thought it worked pretty good. And then as we were shooting it, I thought, this is getting better. And then when we had it all put together, we ran it for an audience. I said, I think this is really going to work. This is really good. People like this. I didn't know it was going to do what it did. And it did change a lot of things afterwards. A picture of that size is a burden in a lot of ways. Financial expectations grow to unreasonable proportions. And I've never been a money writer. I had a regular job before this, and this was kind of a dream, and I realized it. And when I did Mr. Mom, when I wrote Mr. Mom, I was 32. I wasn't some kid just out of film school selling his first script. So this was always kind of a privilege to do this. And that pressure, it cuts you off from doing the little things, because everybody wants blockbuster. And Home Alone was not written as a blockbuster. It was written as a little film that was going to star a kid.
Do you think Dennis the Menace would have been made if Home Alone hadn't been such a big hit?
I don't know. I don't know if anybody would have called me on that. It would not have occurred to me to do Dennis the Menace, because I just kind of come up with my own stuff. And Warner Brothers called and asked me to do it. And at first I didn't really want to, because I thought I had done that. And I went out and met Hank Ketchum, and what I realized in talking with him was that there's a big difference. I'd forgotten the difference between a 5-year-old and an 8-year-old. It's just enormous. They're 2 different kinds, 2 different people. So I thought, this will give me, I can do a different kind of picture here.
How much time do you spend reviewing the old TV show of Dennis the Menace?
None, not once. I didn't watch 1 episode. That's not what I was basing. I was basing it on the original material.
Okay. And one last question is, I know Macaulay Culkin has become such a huge star, What lessons or valuable lessons did you learn working with him that you've applied to Mason Gamble?
I don't know if there's any specific lessons. You know, I'd worked with kids before, and you know, I think, you know, that there's a method to it. You know, you have to like them. You know, if you really like kids, I like kids. I think they're interesting. They make me laugh. I don't have a problem with kids. You know, I understand that they're going to spill things. You know, they're going to come back from lunch and they're going to have, you know, something in their hair. They're going to, you know, they're going to play with their makeup. They're going to miss their marks. And if you're understanding of that and you're cognizant of that, it's not difficult. They never miss their lines. You know, they never fall into the kind of bad habits that adults do. So, from a performance standpoint, I've never had a problem with the child.